Okay, so I'm going to do this video really quickly on some asks that I have in my inbox. Just because, well, one of them made me really sad, and I just wanted to address this, like, personally. So I enrolled everything in July, and now I'm a week behind in school, and still in the enrollment process. Every time I call, they say, oh yeah, we can't talk to you, it has to be your parent. And every time my mom calls, we get referred to someone else or they don't answer. I feel like crying. I'm working so hard to get into the school that I seriously don't know what to do anymore. I'm a week behind and a new student, not knowing how this works. I already feel like I'm gonna fail. So, I wanted to address this, and then there's two other asks that I have in my inbox right now that I'm going to talk about too. One of them is about changing into easier classes if it's too hard for you. And another one is about like portfolios, specifically with relation to geometry. That's what the person was asking. So if you ask those questions, I'm going to answer them. Hopefully the video won't be too long because I got homework to do. But I wanted to address especially the enrollment one. Yeah, I mean, I feel you. The enrollment teams have been taking a really long time, and they've been trying really hard to process all those documents, but unfortunately, there's just so many people who decided to enroll late, unfortunately, or hadn't heard about it, or whatever, that now they're just slammed with documents. So I know it's taking a while. I'm really sorry about that. You know, I'm not from, like, Connections Education. I don't know what they're doing. You know, I can only assume that they're working as hard as they possibly can. I got a submission post from someone on the enrollment team, and that was posted, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, so it's way back there, but if you want to find it, it's basically just them apologizing because they saw a lot of asks on my Tumblr blog of people saying that they've been having enrollment trouble. So they do know they are trying, you know, to work really hard. Unfortunately, I do wish the school would talk to kids more. Like, it's so annoying when I call tech support and they're like, we need to talk to your parents. No. First of all, like, my mom has a job. She isn't here all the time. I'm here alone because I'm like 16, well, turning 16, and like, I'm old enough to stay on my own. Like, that's crap. Don't be like, I have to talk to your parents. No, you can talk to me. I'm perfectly capable. But they act like that all the time, that they have to talk to your parents. And with enrollment stuff, that's more understandable, but this is pretty general too. Like, they do this all the time and I hate it. Trust me that when you get enrolled, you'll have a lot better of an experience, I think. You're more in control then of, you know, what your experience can be. You get to contact your teachers and talk to them, and you're responsible for doing your work. And, you know, it's much less of a hassle in the same way. Try not to stress about it, really. Don't worry about being behind, particularly, because that's something I saw in your ask, that, you know, you're already a week behind. When you get access to your homepage, you might have that already because they do it in, like, segments. Contact your teachers. Tell them that you've been having enrollment trouble. You know, call your teachers and tell them. Don't just webmail, although I would do that too. You know, tell them what's been going on. You can, if enrollment is really taking this long, you can go to your homeroom teacher and say, look, I've been delayed a week, it's really stressing me out, and I want an extension on all of my courses because the enrollment teams have delayed me for a week. You can do that too. So really, like, don't stress out about this. And just your ask made me really sad because it's like, I want to cry already, you know, I'm not even enrolled in school and I'm so over it. And, like, I understand your feeling, but try not to feel like that. I know that's not really that helpful, but yeah. Just keep contacting them. I mean, they are processing your documents, I can assure you of that. If you need to make contact with them, like if your mom needs to contact them and fill out more forms or give them more information or anything like that over the phone, definitely make sure she does that. And I know that you said that she has been calling and just they haven't answered or something. Persistence is just really key. If it gets bad, you can look up on your state homepage for whatever connections you're at and, you know, contact the principal and be like, we're having a really hard time, and as prospective students, this is crap. Like, you need to deal with this. You just be that blunt. I mean, honestly, not you, but your parent has to do that for obvious reasons. But, yeah, I mean, just Just try and survive. It'll be alright. And don't worry about being behind, because you can make people give you extensions. Contact your homeroom teacher, tell them that enrollment's been crazy and you want your end date changed to a week ahead. That's what an extension is, and that can really help. So the other thing is that I wanted to address in this video was the geometry portfolio. I've been getting a lot of asks where it seems like, the new students don't really know what the expectations are for each kind of portfolio. I know I'm looking in the wrong direction now. That's because I moved my thingy over so I can look at my home page. So basically I'm just going to go through quick. Just get really familiar with your home page. This is so important. So when you sign in, you're going to see your to-do list, your planner, and your courses, and then under that there's a little thing called links. The courses panel is pretty explanatory, the to-do list is pretty explanatory. The planner is what you need to do every day. The default view that you have is just your daily assignments, so that's where you get your lessons. That's like the things that you're supposed to turn in today. You can work ahead if you want, you can let things go overdue, my general rule is that you should get everything that was assigned on your daily planner in by the end of the week. So for all 5 days, or in this case, all 4 days if you just started, you want to get everything that was assigned in by the end of the week. You can work on it daily, you can work on it every 2 days. No one really cares as long as you get it in by the end of the week. Unless your teacher sent you a webmail and said that there's like a hard deadline on something. So that's what the planner is. You can also add extracurricular stuff to it by just clicking the little panel at the bottom, and then a screen pops up and you add events and whatever, but that's not important. So the links is the other really important thing, because I assume everyone knows that the webmail thing is just right up the top and it blinks and it's pretty obvious. So the links. Click on your gradebook. So that's what I'm doing. Gradebooks are so important. It's really important to look at your courses, go through them, find out how heavily things are weighted, because that gives you an indication of how important they are. And so you can, work harder on the tests and on the portfolios and things like that that are more important, because you want to put more effort into those and be able to slack and, relax a little bit on the ones that aren't as important. So on your gradebook, if you click on pretty much any course ever, although, there are some exceptions, there are, it looks like 5 different kinds of, or 6 in some cases actually, of assessment summaries. So tests, quizzes, portfolio items, discussion, participation, and sometimes it'll say review item or something like that. So tests are pretty explanatory. It's just the test at the end of the unit, and then if you're in high school, your final exam in each semester. So one's like a midterm, one's like a final, but they each only cover material in that semester, so whatever. Quizzes, also pretty explanatory, just a quiz. There's usually 2 or 3 or something like that in each unit, so you're going to find that. Portfolio items, this is what this ask was. Portfolio items are usually essays, or usually documents that you type up and then put in the Dropbox. And the Dropbox is located right at the end of the lesson that has, the portfolio assignment that requires that you submit that. So you just click on, submit now, and a box pops up, and you click the file and press submit and whatever. But that's all a portfolio is. It's just something that you produce, instead of it being a multiple choice test or something like that, then it's just, it's something you type up. So essays fall into that a lot. Lab reports fall into that a lot if you're doing science. Math, sometimes they'll give you a worksheet to do, and you fill that out and upload it, things like that. That's what a portfolio is. Discussions, and this is the other thing. Someone asked, what is you can view this discussion all month? What does that mean? Usually in your courses, if you have a discussion assignment, all you have to do, unless the teacher has specified otherwise, is click on the discussion, start your own thread, responding to whatever the discussion prompt is, or whatever you're supposed to be talking about. And then, and this is a good rule for most classes, even though it's not required in some, click on at least 2 other students' discussions and respond with something other than good job or I agree. Say, I agree with your point, or I disagree with your point and here's why. Even if it's just a sentence or 2 explanation. In chemistry class, and this is the only one that was like that, she gave us special instructions, which was that we had to start our own thread, respond to 2 other students with at least 3 sentences. That's like the hardest it ever gets. Sometimes you'll get extra bonus points if you go back throughout the unit and keep responding to students, so that's probably what that means, that you're not going to lose access to this discussion if you want to go back. But it's really not mandatory unless it's in your grade book or unless your teachers told you that it's mandatory. So don't stress over that either. Just, do whatever you're required to do. Your lesson will tell you and your teachers will tell you if they have anything to add to that or to modify or whatever. Oh, and the other thing is quick checks. I forgot to mention those. Those are in almost every lesson for like math, social studies, things like that. If you're taking AP, you might see less of those. But they're just like 5 questions, like quick questions, just to kind of like gauge if you learned things from the lesson. And they're weighted really lightly, usually in your courses, usually no more than 10 or 15%. In math, it tends to be really small, but that being said, still try not to like completely fail them. But that's all quick checks are. It's just usually like multiple choice questions, and that's it. Participation is the other thing. Every teacher has a different participation metric. Some of them just give you like free points just because you're in the course and whatever. Some of them require that you go to live lessons. Some of them base it off of like your contact credits. Live lesson attendance counts as a contact credit. So do phone calls. Some teachers count webmails too. So definitely keep in contact with your teachers, because one of those things is going to count towards your participation grade. And I mean, it's only 5%, but it's still like 5% that you need. So, and it's an easy 5%. Like, you usually don't have to do anything difficult for participation. It's just like be alive, have a heartbeat. Yeah. So those are the different kinds of assessments. I don't think I missed any. But yeah, so like essays, lab reports, those all fall under portfolios, and you submit those. So that's what those are. What was my other ask? Oh yeah. If you need to, if you want to transfer from a harder class into an easier class, this person asked about Algebra 2, and said it was, they've only been in the course for a little bit, but it seems too difficult, and they would like to, to trade it out for something else. You can do that if you want. You can contact your homeroom teacher, your advisory teacher, your guidance teacher, whatever they call it. Homeroom and guidance are usually different though, but you can contact them both. It doesn't really matter. I would definitely contact advisory too though. Like, if you're going to contact both, make sure it's both. Don't just contact one or the other. Always get that message into guidance or advisory or whatever they call it. And ask for that change. My personal advice here though is try and tough it out for a few weeks. There are lots and lots and lots of online practice sites. Khan Academy has so many practice questions that, math is a big time sink. It's not a spectator sport. You can't just, read about it, and even if you think you understand the concept, like earlier today I was doing my pre-calc homework and I was like, I got this. I know exactly what I'm doing and everything's fine. And then I got to the assessment and I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, because I didn't practice as much as I should have. So definitely practice, practice, practice. Khan Academy is so helpful. They have videos, they have practice problems, they're good videos, they're good practice problems. Study Island is okay. They have lessons, but it's like read lessons and then do moderately okay practice problems. I'm like a big fan of Khan Academy, so go do Khan Academy. Get a review book if you need to. Just, read your textbook, do practice problems from there. Peer tutoring is going to start up soon. The after school help thing is going to start up soon, where they like staff teachers in a room, and you can enter the live lesson room and get help from a teacher live, about homework or whatever. So that's going to start up soon. Lots of different help kinds of things are going to start up soon. So I would hang in there and just see, because it is much better for you if you can take a harder course. It looks so much better than a higher grade in a lower course, even though that seems kind of counterintuitive. It's just people like you taking harder courses. So even though it's painful, if you can survive, do. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, we're at about 15 minutes and I have stuff to do. and I don't want people to, like, not be able to watch this, because that's how I'm answering their asks. I'll probably type something up too, but it's probably going to be less comprehensive, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, stuff.